Most realtors unfortunately stay broke and sad for their entire career, if it even becomes a career, and this is why most people fail. And what I want to do today is make sure that you're not one of them, because when you start breaking it down, I talk to, again, thousands of agents every single year, and one of the common themes is that they're financially stressed, they're not making the income that they wanted to, they're not living the lifestyle or even on track to live the lifestyle that they wanted to, and that then leads to them not having the money, but then also being sad because they get discouraged and they get fearful and they have self-doubt and they get all these kind of emotions about why they can't do it. And then what I'm gonna do is break down 5 questions that you need to ask yourself in order to make sure that you don't fall into the same trap that so many agents do, which is, again, not making the money you want to and being emotionally overwhelmed constantly. And I just want to make sure that you actually build the business of your dreams and live the lifestyle that you got into real estate to achieve. What's up, guys? It's Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty. I train thousands of agents every year to scale their business the modern way with social media. And let me break this down because it's really disheartening when, again, I talk to so many agents. There's about 8 agents a day that book into my calendar to talk about joining our group, the Wolfpack. And the common consensus from probably about 50% of the agents, 50% of them are, heavy hitters, team leaders, brokers, strong producers, they've got it on check. The other 50% are the ones that are down and out, not closing deals, they aren't in a good financial position, they have to pick up another job. And you can tell by just talking to them, their demeanor, their body language, their lack of confidence, and their presence on camera is that they're also pretty sad. And they're not happy with where they are. And I want to make sure that you're not just wealthy, but you're happy as well. So now what I want to do is just break down these 5 questions and give some context to each of them. The first question is, why do you actually want this? And I think this is really important because a lot of people don't even have a big enough goal that means enough to them in order to actually drive them forward, to push to do the things that they need to do in order to succeed in real estate. So for example, I talked in a previous video about my goal to help 1,000 agents make $1 million a year. Well, that's a pretty strong driver, in addition to the fact that I want to retire my parents, my sister, and make sure that my family for the next 5 generations never have to worry about money. So when I've got that on my shoulder every single day, it's very easy for me to push through the hard times. But when you look at most agents, they're saying things like, Mike, I need an accountability partner. Well, if you need an accountability partner, what that means is that's a big waving red flag that your goals don't mean enough to you, that you need somebody else to tell you what to do. That is, again, a very quick way to go into a downward spiral, become dependent on somebody else, lose motivation, and get to the position where you are never going to achieve those goals. Because again, yours don't mean enough to you. And I'm gonna bring this full circle when we get a little bit deeper here. Number 2, this is gonna be one that challenges you. If you were coaching yourself, what would you tell yourself to do? And this is really important because when I approach anything, whether it be business, life, relationships, I always try and look not just from somebody else's perspective, but I try and look from the outside in. And unfortunately, a lot of agents are looking from the inside in, which is saying, I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm busy, but you're not even productive. And they're just looking at what they're doing in that snapshot in time. But again, I guarantee that if the majority of you that are not where you want to be financially and emotionally and mentally, if you looked from the outside in, you would tell somebody else or you would tell yourself, hey, you should be prospecting 3 hours a day. Hey, you should be putting out videos. Hey, you should be posting on social media. Hey, you should be running lead generation ads. Oh, you should also probably work on your brand and make sure that you're different. Well, at the end of the day, every single realtor, for the most part, knows what they need to do. It's a very simple business. You need to get clients, service the clients, and repeat. And then, of course, nurture the ones that you've already served, your database, so that you can get repeat and referrals. That's it. That is literally all you need to do as a realtor. Get clients, fulfill your service, or work those clients in order to get them the end result they're looking for, buying or selling or investing, and then repeat. Everybody knows that you just need to either prospect for hours a day or put out specific content that you need to learn how to do, develop the skill set to be on camera, put out content or run lead generation ads or build your personal brand. Like, it is not rocket science. Every single agent knows they need to do this. What you need to do is find out why you're not doing it. So when you look at real estate or just any business, for example, the ones that thrive are the people that are okay with doing the boring stuff over and over and over and over again repeatedly for a long period of time. But the stuff that you need to do as an agent is not fun in the beginning. It will get fun if you earn your stripes and you put the time in to build that foundation, but most people aren't willing to put their time in to build the foundation to the point where they just work on the stuff that they think is fun and easy and, busy, and then they never get to where they want to be. So you know what you need to do. You need to find out why you're not doing it. If you get all excited about video and then you say, next week I'm going to record videos, and you don't, why are you not doing that? And I'm going to drive this point very deep and emotionally in a couple minutes here when I kind of bring this all to wraps. The third thing is, what is filling your mind? This is a question you have to constantly do. You have to constantly self-audit yourself, because what fills your mind fills your heart, and what fills your mind becomes your reality. So when you look at this, if what fills your mind, and do this, audit yourself every single day. If what fills your mind is stuff like, I'm going too slow, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not doing a good job, I'm never gonna make it, I'm not good on camera, I can't learn social, I can't prospect, I don't know how to convert, that is literally gonna be what happens. You're never gonna do any of it. But if you tell yourself, this is investing into my business instead of making a sacrifice, I can learn these skill sets, it just takes time, I am able to get over my fears if I just work on it consistently, and positive thoughts, then you're going to take the action that is going to allow that to actually happen. The fourth one is, do your skill sets align with the goals that you have? Because a lot of times people are saying, well, Mike, I made $100,000 and now I want to make $500,000, or I want to make $1 million in real estate. Well, that's great, but what I can tell you from experience is what got you to $100,000 will not get you to $1 million or $500,000 or maybe even $250,000. So what you need to understand is that your ability and your capacity to grow and to scale is going to be capped and limited by the skill sets that you have. So when you're looking at going to the next level in your business, and maybe right now you're at 50K and you want to go to 100K, you need to develop new skill sets or improve the ones that you already have that will allow you to actually get to that next financial threshold. And then the fifth thing, before I kind of really drive this home, is, do you feel relief when you make a lot of money in a certain month? So for example, let's say you're used to doing 1 deal a month and then suddenly you do 5 deals a month. Do you feel relief from that? Do you get, dopamine effect? Do you get really excited about that? Does that really kind of change how you operate and the emotions that you have? Because if it does, I can tell you for certainty, you're never going to become wealthy. That's just part of the process. Is if your emotions are tied to your transactions and you get all excited and, take the foot off the gas and feel like you can take a break when you have a good month, you're never going to be able to get to the point where you've got freedom. So let me drive this home with a very powerful statement that I really hope you take to heart. And I hope some don't take offense to it, but if you do, you probably need to hear more than anybody. And that question is, why will people only do what they need to do, what they know they need to do, when the outcome is basically do or die as negative as possible? All hell breaks loose. Let me give you an example of this. Let's say somebody is about to steal your kid. Let's say somebody is about to harm your parents. Let's say something is about to, hurt your dog or your pet or something like that. Do you need somebody to tell you what you should do? Do you need somebody to say, hey, Mike, that guy's just about to kidnap your daughter. You should probably go, try and save her. No, you know what to do, because the outcome is so negative that you know instinctively exactly what you need to do in that situation. And again, it's like if somebody was about to hurt your parents, hey, Mike, you should, that guy's got a gun to your mom's head. You should probably, really go take care of that. You're going to do anything in your power to resolve that situation like that. You know what to do. Nobody has to tell you what to do, because the outcome is so negative that you can't fathom having that outcome become the reality. So let me ask you this. Let's say somebody was about to kidnap or harm your kid. Let's say somebody was about to harm one of your parents. If you didn't make those calls and prospect for 3 hours a day, if you didn't put out those videos, if you didn't talk to those people, do you think you would do it? That's a rhetorical question. Everybody would do it, right? But the problem is, and this is what circles back and brings us to a loop, is that most people's goals are not important enough to them to the point where if they don't do what they know they need to do, it doesn't make a difference in their life and they end up being sad and broke forever. Because let's relate a traditional agent's goals with what we just talked about in these dire situations. If you don't do the things that you need to do, the prospecting, the skill set developing, the video content, the social media, the lead generation, the branding, if you don't do that, today you're not going to see a bad outcome. But in 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to not be able to provide your family with the lifestyle that you wanted to. You're not going to be able to go on the trips you wanted to or buy the things you always dreamed of. And you're going to be in a position where that negative outcome just became a reality. It's just delayed instead of instantaneous. And that is the problem of why so many agents struggle, is because they can't look long term at that very, very terrible outcome that is inevitably going to happen if you don't do the things today that you know. But most people's goals don't mean enough to them, and most people will only do what they know they need to do if the situation in the very moment is going to yield a negative outcome. So hopefully you just reflect on these 5 questions, really think about what you're doing and if your goals mean enough to you. And if they don't, again, look at some of the other content I have on that. But I'd love to know your thoughts. So drop a comment if you have anything. But I really just want to make sure that you've got the right mindset to actually succeed and build the business of your dreams. So thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.